What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So, Don Fron here. Today's video, probably not going to be the typical 5-minute ones you see on this. There's a lot to break down. There's a lot to, I guess, disclaimer. First and foremost, I'm a trader. Now, I do have an investment account. We are going to talk about that because I am selling Apple. So I'm talking about why, how much, just get into all of that. But to kick things off, so we're going to talk about the tech bubble, why I'm selling some Apple, and just kind of my thought process and everything behind that. But I am, again, a trader, so I get to be on both sides. I get to, if I buy things that go up, and they go up, I buy them. It sells off, I'm not in it anymore. I'm like an investor that skips the red candles, and I occasionally take short positions. So there's a lot of people talking about the tech bubble. And in fact, I was looking this up for like YouTube keywords, like how to make a title, because I'm trying to play the YouTube game. So if you want to help me out, do me a huge solid. Click the subscribe button first. Yeah. Comment throughout this whole video. Comment what you think, your thought process, because I don't care if anybody's ever going to disagree. I like hearing everybody's thoughts. But two, I would never listen to just one person's opinion. And if this is the first time ever hearing me, maybe check out some other videos. I have my other channel, my main channel, the Don Fron Show. But, with everybody giving their opinions, everyone's real quick to throw out their opinions, too. I would just be really careful about letting that opinion hold any weight. You guys are just YouTubing stuff, and YouTube, the algos will take you down that rabbit hole. And here you're thinking everybody's on board. This is a tech bubble. We got Chamath. As I was YouTubing this, just to title it, Meet Kevin pops up. Tech bubble, about to crash. I forget the title. It was a year ago. Obviously didn't age well. Which I'm sure was maybe a thumbnail clickbait. Who knows what those guys do. But just to say, it's definitely a conversation everyone's having, and it's probably what fueled it to go up. But something clicked today. First of all, it's tech. Tech again today. As I'm recording this and selling off, everybody's just so confused as to why. Because we were selling off, we're removing risk. The feds come out, we talk about rate hikes and how the tapering and all that. And then everybody gets excited, buys it up, it gaps up. And if you're in my group, shout out to the guys that were in my group. Not everyone did it, but some people took the short position. And as we look at tech, that same yellow zone. Now, I don't know what news came out today. I don't care. You guys know I personally don't chase news. Typically, I know it. I do run a chat. I do talk to a bunch of traders, and I'm in the know. But to think you could read news and then place the trade, like you're chasing at that point. Sorry, there's just no two ways about it. And I like to be in the move before it happens, which I can get is very much easier said than done. But look at this move. This is what's concerning me. This is why I'm selling Apple. I will say right now, I'm not selling all of my Apple. I'm going to cut it in half. If you've been following me for a while, you guys know I tell you guys, I hoard shares of Ford and Apple. Now I've added Tesla. Tesla I've always had. It just hasn't been as aggressive. And I added PayPal to the mix. There's just a few in there that I just want to keep collecting and sell contracts against. But I have a lot. Apple, just for its price, I could do so much more with that money. I'm still going to keep it. I still like Apple, but I'm cutting it in half for this reason. Tech is up there. And what this tells me right here, it's not just a typical zone bounce. Zone to zone all day, every day. I even told the chat this morning. I went short from here to here. This wick actually tagged me out. I didn't short it right here. I wasn't that cool. But this looks like big players are getting out of the game. Now, I can't prove this. I can't do anything, but I can tell you the aggressiveness, the nature at which it's leaving this zone is not normal. It's not your normal characteristic for tech. Here are the normal red candles for tech. Little bitty greens, little bitty reds. Okay, here's some panic. But even look at that. Here's some more just normal reds. Look at the size of these red candles. I'll zoom in. Here's normal what you guys probably know as normal. If you've been trading for 2019, 2018 maybe, you're still relatively new. If you've been doing this under 5 years, you're still new. Don't let that get in the way of your ego. There's a lot of curveballs the market can throw at you. But look at how when we get into this, there is either very much a lack of buyers, or the sellers are just outperforming. They are here with their friends. Now, again, just a name you recognize, Goldman Sachs, dumping a position. They have more money than you. That's what moves the market. More buyers, it goes up. More sellers, it goes down. And the aggressiveness at which this is leaving tells me that's a big player. Or, like, I'm kind of over the fact that it's one big player at this point. I'm thinking multiple. I've seen a couple people share this chart. I don't know how they have it. It lines up, something like this. Yeah, something like that. It looks like a low or high. They got the higher or low. In my opinion, I've seen this in my chat. Also, a good friend of mine, Kabir, he sent me his, and that's what his had. And I said, delete that top line. Get rid of it. Because this is just my opinion. Look at that horizontal level. That is a level. That is a very clear level. Now, they're tying it to an excuse every time. You guys can probably tell it. Just look at the time slot right here. I know Omicron's one of them. There's two Fed announcements. This is an after a Fed announcement. Everybody thought it was good. We slammed right into that zone, turned around. Again, that is a big tech player. Looks like it's getting out. I'm hoping it's a higher low. I have not sold my Apple yet. I'm hoping we can bounce up a little bit more, and then I'm going to go ahead and probably unload it, only because there's a rotation. I think we're leaving tech. I think these big players are getting tech. We're seeing things like dividend stocks. They're going for it. There's also a guy in my group, he's asking me, he's like, hey, turns out I sold what I thought were safe deltas, but we're going 3 standard deviations on these. Do I just take the L on these covered calls? And yeah, because I think we're just getting warmed up. Now, we'll cross that bridge when we get there as far as we just short this thing into the dirt. Right now, we're just going on the prepared side. So this video really is just plant that seed in the back of your head, because as a trader, you can go long, you can go short, we can go sideways, we can do whatever we want. We're versatile. We can move around these markets. But to go ahead and hear this video and you hear me say tech bubble, and you start taking short positions, that's silly. You won't have an account after a while. What I like to do, what I preach, what I tell you guys, and what we talk about is all the possible scenarios. We could go really up. We could go just up. We can go sideways. We can go down, or we can tuck knee and yell out cannonball. You know, which ways, how I trade every day is which scenarios are more likely, which one do I feel is weighted more, put my money where my mouth is, and I'm either going to stop out, it was wrong, or I was wrong and move on to the next one, or I'm right. It's time to trail. Let it go. If I decide to go short, it breaks this trend. I decide to go short, put my stop in the green. Whether it's a pullback, a correction, a full-blown crash, I'll just trail it. And then that's how often you'll get, if you're going to try to time the market, that's how I've found to be the best way, is just trail it. Picking the tops, picking the bottoms. You're trying to get pennies. If it's going to go from 1 to 100, going from 10 to 90, is a banging trade. But most of you guys will swing for home runs trying to grab it at the 1, and you just miss every time, and you lose your accounts in the process. So if there's any takeaway from this video, it is just that, I planted this seed in the back of your head so you're not blindsided later. Keep it in the back. Hey, this possibility is on the table. Let's keep an eye out for it. Is this what's happening? Because like I said, last year everyone was talking about tech bubble, and if you went short tech, you probably don't have an account. If you listen to that, or if you kept that in the back of your mind, hey, I follow these YouTubers. They seem all right. Their advice seems pretty solid. They're talking about a tech bubble. I'll keep that over here, and if I see signs of that, then maybe I take that. So again, as right now, let's just look at the big picture. We're up there. This doesn't go back far enough. Things just don't go vertical. Now they have, and we've had the Fed just, saying it's okay, jump on. We got just imagine a snow plow, and the Fed says we got some extra seats in the back. Get comfy, because we're going through this. The party's got it. Good things don't last forever. The party's going to come to an end. You pick your saying. I'm not the best at those. Because while we remain on this track up, I'll still be long. But I'm looking out for, I'm definitely, how do you say preparing without, when I say prepare, I don't want you guys thinking I'm out here just buying puts, talking about here comes the floor. While the floor might come, it would be more of a surprise. Those that didn't see it coming are going to be the ones really holding that bag. I want to make sure I go over everything in this video. I don't know. We are just up there. And I get people to talk about valuations and all that, and we've left that in the dust. We did do that. We left them all in the dust in 2000 as well. And you've heard about that crash, the dot-com crash. We have some similar characteristics? Yeah. Are we the same market? No. Plus, while for everyone talking about a bubble, there's the same amount talking about money on the side. Now, that is why I don't think there will be a bubble crash. Typically, a bubble pops, and you remember when you were a kid and you played with bubbles, and poof, it's gone? That's where it gets that term from. I don't think we're crashing 80%. Well, I don't think we're coming out here. I would be more surprised if it did. Nothing's off the table ever, but I think it's a mixture of both. I think we are a little bit up there. Valuations have kind of been a joke, but even as a trader, I'm looking up top. Not to mention, I'm also sitting on just a golden throne right now, looking down at the peasants because I'm in the top 5 stocks. I love tech stocks. I've been tech heavy, and the ones I pick are just the ones that have been going up. And well, I've been good. And some of you guys might not share that same story because not all stocks are good. These markets are kind of deceiving. If you look at the Qs, you're thinking, how could anybody be red in this? What paper hands weenie is just selling when we're just only going up? When you got things like Microsoft, Apple, just leading the charge. Now, the top 3 in the Qs are Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon. And they carry the weight. In fact, there was a study that the top 5 stocks are responsible for 50% of the growth we've seen over this last year. So some people I probably have kicked while they're down with my awards because they're in things like Baba, Peloton, Zoom, Pin, DraftKings, things that just don't look like this. They took the turn a long time ago. That hype came in, that hype left, but people just, with their beer goggles on, only looking at the markets, probably think everything's A-okay. We're kind of standing on, I don't want to say stilts, at least the big 5, there's some tree trunks, there's some decent companies. And while tech could very much pull back or see some outflows, we see a rotation into other companies. Tech, I think, is also going to be a weird one, which is why you don't hear me loading up on SQQQ or just buying QQQ puts, because, and it's also the same reason I'm not, just dumping Apple. There's going to be some ones where they are a safe haven. Like, yeah, Apple might be up there. I mean, look at Apple. Like, there's the Rona crash. And then everyone's like, we can handle the Rona, we can handle anything. Do it. Did they announce the EV? Nope. Like, what have they come out with since then that has just caused this move? Other than a bunch of buyers saying, I like Apple, let's do it. Now, if we look at Apple's typical trajectory, this is to kind of just, again, not fear-mongering, not bearish yet. Plant this seed in the back of your head. Here is kind of a normal, let's just grab all of that. You can kind of just see, just a rough estimate. Here's our normal characteristics. We kind of have this slow grind up. Warren Buffett loved it for this slow grind up. If there wasn't for rules, sorry, I keep looking at my knuckle. It just, if it wasn't for rules, Warren Buffett would have all his money. I think he said he'd have all his money in Apple, and that'd just be it. I don't think he'd say that now. For those of you guys that love him, I don't know what Kathy stands on. I know she's the new Warren. But things characteristically, we got off tilt. There is a, here, valuation's high, like, whatever. Right here, all right. I see what someone might be saying. We've detached from reality. And no matter how awesome that dream is, you wake up eventually. And maybe we never do, or maybe we do, and you're going to wish you were still asleep. Because it's not going to look good. What if we did come all the way back down? I think that's a bear case. That's wild. I don't want to predict the downside like that, but if there's going to be any panic or fear, I know a lot of people are up. If you just bought and held because the Rona crash, you heard buy when stocks are down, you followed that term like, oh, everyone's fearful, that's when I should buy. So you bought and you held and you are up. You are moon status, baby. And you hear fear, you hear the market's going to crash again, You're going to close your account. You're going to lock in your 400% gains, and you're going to be smiling ear to ear. And then you're going to do it again. And when that happens, all of that selling brings it down from the top. It'll shake you right out of the tree. So those that aren't prepared, you get punched in the side of the face. You get blindsided. Those of you guys that I'm reaching out to, you think, all right, okay, this is what's happening. We were trending up. It was easy to count because you guys covered basic kindergarten math and colors. There's only 2 here, so it's fortunate. Whether you're colorblind or not, you can count. There's more green candles than red. Sounds like it's going up. When that story changes, that's probably when your story should change. Hey, there's no more buyers here. Why am I still a buyer? When the selling proceeds and just continues, that's when you hang out. When the selling slows down, comes to a stop, that's how you buy the dip. What I don't want you guys to do is start loading up on the first dip down, because imagine jumping out of the top of the tree. You're going to hit that first branch. You're going to think, here we go, load up. And you're going to hit every branch on the way down. It won't feel good. You can afford, if things do sell off like that, you can afford to wait for the selling to stop and the buying to return. Again, you don't need to be the first one on the train. You just need to be on the damn train when it takes off. You don't want to be in front of the tracks. You don't want to be anywhere around that train other than on the train once it's in motion and you know you're on the right one. And last but not least, this is what clicked today. Apple, way up there. Let's pull up Microsoft. Or ignore those trades. But if you were... Oh, never mind. I thought those are shorts. Like, there you have it. That was an L. Ignore that one. Hang on. Sorry, I'm supposed to keep those up. Give me 1 second. So, back to it. I hate how much money I've left on the table with Microsoft. I don't like looking at this chart because I've traded it probably twice inside this whole thing. This either being my second or third time. Look at that. What are you, some super investor because you bought Microsoft and held? Look at that vertical takeoff, though. You know what? Let's just make this visual for you. Whoa, speaking of Baba, the exact opposite. With the RSI on there. There you go. So, apologies if you have watched my video, and I've made fun of your ticker because you bought and held this. You had your conviction, you had your reasons, which have all your reasons. When those reasons don't validate anymore, it's time to get out. I can tell you this now, and you can agree with me because it's definitely easier to look at now and think, yeah, I should have done that. I get when push comes to shove, it's harder to actually separate, click that sell button, close that loss out. But imagine if you stopped out a long time ago. You could take that same capital, buy 1 billion more shares than what you had, and if that's the bottom, you're rocking. But what if tech started to look like that? All right, so here's Microsoft. Also, here is Microsoft. Should I make this the thumbnail? I'm out here doing work. All right, so let's zoom out. Let's make them look. All right. Got about the same candle widths. Okay. So here's the here's where everybody's like, oh, buy things because they go up. Innovation, tech, changing the world. Yeah, cool story. You know how the one on the left is going to end, but you think the one on the right is different. That's the concerning part. Who was it? I know who it was. All right. So we're going to talk about this right here. This little section right here. You want to talk about sales, things the company's going to sell, things you're going to buy, how they're going to take over the world, all this. Here's Microsoft. You guys did not have a single Microsoft computer in your house. If you were even alive, nothing happened, all right? If you were alive and you remember, you heard a weird noise, sounded like a fax, maybe you don't know what a fax machine is, dial tone, high-pitched noise. You might recognize it from the Matrix. Think of what's going on. That's where the internet first happened. Okay, like that's where everybody started. After that, from 2000, imagine how many people had a computer in their house from the year 2000. Let's say 2001. Give it a little bit later. From 2001 to 2000, where's it at? 10? When did we start going up? So all of 2012, beginning of 2013. From here to here, how many Microsoft anything went to everyone's house? Not a household name. Everyone knows what it is. Okay? All the reasons you're buying stuff now has already happened, and it was completely flat. So your buying reasons are kind of stupid. Sorry, I'm trying to learn how to talk to the humans, but if that shouldn't offend you, just catch up, okay? Do you see what just happened there? How many excuses sound just like that today? And last but not least, the reason why I brought these up, Microsoft and Apple. Amazon's the third one. Those are the top three in the queues. What a letdown. A few more zones. Now this is the weekly. Now, Amazon pushed up, went sideways, pushed up, definitely chopped around. Look at that look at this junk. Now, look at the charts I just showed you. This is the biggest thing. This is the thing that clicked for me today. This is what I want you to sit back, pay attention, take notes. You've been looking at it wrong. You're thinking Microsoft's pushing up, Apple's pushing up, Amazon is about to play. You're thinking Amazon's in bronze, third place. Jeff Bezos, he wears a puffy vest. That's why Amazon sucks this year. Look at Apple and Microsoft. They're tearing it up. I would actually argue now Amazon beat everyone to the punch. Amazon went way past their valuation, way past everything, and people are like, it's just, I can't pay that much for it. I agree. Amazon's a powerhouse. They're a monopoly. They're taking over the world. You know, they might even take over shipping. You might even have FedEx anymore, UPS. It's just all Amazon. Everything you do, Amazon. Uber Eats is now Amazon Eats. But it's just going sideways. Because reality needs to catch up to this price. Now, it's holding this price. It's just not going up because it's just kind of too far up there. Like a plane, when it reaches its max altitude, it's not a rocket. It just doesn't have the thrust to get any higher. I think Amazon beat everyone to it, and I think Microsoft and Apple are probably about to follow suit. I think after a banging year, they're just going to settle down. And at that point, it's going to look just like Amazon. And I hope that's the worst we see from a tech bubble or a tech sell-off, or at least in those two. And that's why I'm actually selling my Apple, because I think this does happen. They go sideways. If I'm wrong, I have had the position, it still goes up. You know, I'm still selling contracts against it. I just think if this happens, the amount of money I'm going to take out of Apple, I'll be able to put anywhere else in the market. Things that are going up, things that are going down. I can trade whatever side I want with that capital and not have just that much sitting around going sideways. So I'll wrap it up here. Wanted to bring all that to you guys. Let me know in the comments down below what hit you the most in this. Was it just all dumb? Did something click? Hopefully you're not scared, because things can still just continue to go up. People were talking about a tech bubble crash last year. Amazon's the one that didn't go up. It's what, up 6% for the year? Anyway, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video.